Welcome back to Cuesta Gym. Randy Scovil and Matt Wozniak. It's 36-34 in favor of West Valley as we get ready to start the second half. We talked a bit about offensive diversification, but I know one of the concerns you have is, some of the defensive lapses at the end of the half, and maybe Rusty Blair's thinking about who he's going to put out there, maybe more from a defensive standpoint.
Well, 2 minutes, 11 points. That's what West Valley closed that first half with. The majority of them easy buckets and free throws. I think when Coach Blair looks at this tape, he'll recognize that his guards, his wings, have to do a better job help defense in clogging that paint. Personally, on the offensive end, I really think Igual can be a guy to step up in this second half. He's got a pure stroke, hasn't got touches in the sweet spot as much as he can. He's a physical, got great size, athleticism. Would not be surprised if he gets a couple post touches to get his offensive game going.
Oscar Pedroso leads the Cougars with 9. In fact, he had the first 8 points of the game for Cuesta. Pablo Bianchi with 7 off the bench, and then Alex Igual out of Barcelona, as Waz mentioned, with 5. Alejandro Horta out of Spain with 4. Also a couple from Kyle Gear and Valentin Bauer. Also Kyrie Carson with a few free throws before the end of the half, and Brett Hartshorn putting in a couple as well. Momir Gadaric with 10 to lead West Valley. They also have a pair of threes from Malek Kanan as we get ready to start the second half. Again, the Cougars led at one point by 11 points at the 25-14 mark, but the Vikings able to come back and also getting a foul against the Cougars with 5 seconds to go in the half and make the go-ahead free throws, as it will be Bill Gray with West Valley going left to right as we start the second half. Kanan to Gray with Gibson on him. Gadaric with the 10 points, and there's that reverse play we saw earlier. He's got a game-high 12.
Well, it's just recognition. For Gear, you got to realize, send a good player to help defense, and the baseline easily accomplished from the big fella.
Kyle Gear, number 14. Part of the offense is Igual. Pulling in, trying to find something. That trap for a moment into the corner. There's Pedrosa for a long two. It won't go. An air ball to Gadaric.
Well, anytime you got to reach down to your feet to catch a pass, difficult to get in the shooting rhythm. Poor shot selection.
Soft pass, and Pedrosa able to tap it back to Gibson. Gear right there to go in and put it in for his second bucket, and the Cougars down 2, 38-36.
Yeah, much needed. You sense some offensive frustration from this group, trying to pick up full court and create some easy buckets, but for Cuesta, any layup right now is a great one.
Kanan picked up by Pedroso. Lorenzo Graham, the Alaskan. And Gray, looking at Kanan, trying to find a way inside, able to navigate around Hartshorn, but unable to do that. Required more steps than were legally allowed. In other words, he traveled.
Yeah, really a fortunate defensive play there. Turning in the corner, when you look at guards getting into the paint early in possessions, not ideal for Cuesta, fortunate.
Ellis Gibson, one of these sophomore returners, as we mentioned at the outset of the broadcast. 2 of the Cougar sophomores up front unable to play at this point. That's Utolin and Benamar. Kyrie Carson has been able to play tonight. Straight away from Hartshorn, in and out, won't go. Rebound pulled down by West Valley. Graham waiting for some numbers and back to Gray. Trigger the offense, Gray, though, with 3 fouls in the first half. Gadaric back out to Gray, looking to penetrate. Lost control and tapped away by Igual. With Pedrosa behind the back to Gibson, who will finish. First points for Ellis Gibson, and the Cougars tie it up at 38.
Yeah, that's one of those plays. You don't say anything when it's accomplished, but that ball goes bouncing out of bounds or you don't convert. There's an early substitution coming.
Kanan and Graham. Pedroso looking at him on the far side of the 3 line. Kanan finds himself doubled for the moment. Gray, turnaround over Gibson, falls off the back of the rim, and Bill Gray with his second bucket. 5 points altogether, 40-38 Vikings.
Again, depth into the paint. When the smallest player on West Valley is scoring post plays, you're not anchoring properly.
Pedroso, first points in a while, goes baseline, first double-figure score for the Cougars with 11, 40 all.
I might be surprised if Cuesta goes a little zone here coming up. Interior reliance for West Valley is starting to become a priority.
17-16 to go in the game. Tie ball game, back and forth in the latter part of the first half especially, and even early on. Kanan, the long 3 won't go. Rebound, though, it's Goody. Around and off the glass, and it's Tucker Goody with 8 points.
For a wide body, has leverage, gets those feet wide, and he can turn. Very good spin moves with explosiveness, albeit well below the rim.
Pedroso with the Cougars down 2. Hartshorn dishes back up top to Igual. Pedroso looking to move in. Pedrosa, top player from Portugal, turnaround shot a little bit short, but Gears right there, trying for the turnaround. maybe too many steps and has to take it away by Gaderick.
Exposing the ball on spin moves at the rim. Easy for guards to knock through. Gear's got to recognize, keep it near that chin level, one pump fake, explode. No smaller guards from West Valley can alter.
Kanan to Kuti. 17 to shoot, 42-40. Vikings up 2. Kanan has it, then lost it, and it's a wall with it. Pushing it up with a challenge from Gray, and it's going to be a blocking foul, and that's going to be 4 on Bill Gray. We have a couple subs getting ready to come in for West Valley as well. That's going to be the first foul of the second half on either team. And Gray already knows he's to the bench and ready to come out. As it will be Alex Agual at the line, first of 2. First one does not go. Pablo Bianchi coming in for Hartshorn for the Cougars. Meanwhile, Ong and Smith coming in, and Graham will come out along with Gray for the Vikings. It stays 42-40 with 16-14 left. And that one is going to come up a bit short. That's the second time we've seen that in this game, once from each team.
Well, surprising, too. Looking at his stroke, should be an 80% free throw shooter, no doubt about it. But air balls, surprising.
Kanan, Goderick, moving well. Spin move, but cut off by Gear. Ong will drive. He'll float one and won't go, and the follow, Gaderick won't quite go. He's all over the place. He and Gear both banging the glass, and will go out of bounds off the Vikings.
I'll tell you what, Goderick's got a future in this game, primarily because he's a quick second jumper, and he has excellent balance for having good size at 6'6", 6'7". Hasn't really shown a great propensity to knock down the shot, but he has athleticism near that rim.
Gear will come out for the first time in. Taylor Thompson, a redshirt freshman out of Sonora, got a medical redshirt after playing 2 games at Cal State Stanislaus last year. Cougars' biggest player, or I should say tallest, at 6'9", 220. Wearing number 40. Gibson back out, wide open. Agual for 3, in and out won't go. Bianchi fade away with one hand, won't go. The Agual shot won't go, and there's Gaderick again. On pushed up to Carl Smith. Gaderick, long 3, looked good, rattled out. Kanan had it, and stripped away by Gibson. But a foul committed on a grab by Pablo Bianchi. It's going to be his second and first one for the Cougars, and Westy Blair's going to call a timeout with 15:21 to go. So far, the team really kind of breaking out and, just still kind of trying to find their way. The Cougars at least, got Pedroso back in the offense, though.
I think this first part of the second half has been won by West Valley. Now, indicative on the scoreboard, still a relatively close game, but I'll be surprised if Cuesta cannot find more post touches. Make these smaller guards from West Valley defend. I realize they've got a little bit of size in Gaderick and of course, when you talk about Godey inside, but the inside-out opportunities for offense within this game, I think, is a priority for Cuesta. Play a little inside-out game, show a little bit more patience with it. I think their offense is spurring a little inconsistency just from guys not getting proper touches.
And talk about size, Gaderick at 6'6", tallest active player for the team tonight. Cougars did put out Thompson there a little bit taller at 6'9". Hartshorn's had some early foul trouble at 6'5", but Bianchi has been able to navigate, and the Cougars do have a lot of players in that 6'4" range. So, and again, they kind of are going to need them a little bit because they're missing a couple of guys up front and some guys that are going to have to play out of position, at least for a while. Guys who are maybe, I think, Rusty Boy kind of say, guys who are, wing players are, going to play power forward. Power forwards are going to play post.
And one of the things Rusty was really concerned about going into this season, not just this game, but the entirety of it, but a guy like Gibson, a guy like Lamar Young, can you orchestrate and feel the way a game is supposed to be played? And right now, for Cuesta, not the ideal shot takers, point guards aren't getting him into rhythm.
Rodwell on to trigger it for West Valley, 15:21 to go, and the Vikings have it up by 2. It's Goody in the flat. Bianchi trying to deny. Goody will pull back. Shot won't go off the back of the iron, tapped away. Smith had a hand on it, scrambling it from the floor, but dug up nicely by Bianchi.
He's been their best rebounder so far, Bianchi, all over the place.
In transition, Pedroso fouled, and that's going to be Carl Smith for the second time. His second foul this half on West Valley. Bianchi on the floor along with Pedroso, Thompson, Igual, and also Gibson. Igual with it right now. And we've seen just, I believe, almost everybody but Lamar Young, who's active for the Cougars. Up top, Igual going around Smith, dishes out. Bianchi at the 3-line. Trying to go inside into Thompson. Not really a clear path. I'm not sure Thompson was expecting the ball there. It will stay Cougar ball.
Well, there's no room to drive. You got double post presence, and you got a 3-man who's relatively slow making spin moves. No areas to make easy, opportunistic plays.
Bianchi out to Pedroso. He'll pull out and take the 3. It will not go. And Gaterick again. And will be off Cuesta.
Well, there have been some tough basketballs bouncing non-Cuesta ways at this point. It was a good look from Pedroso in the corner. You got to see guys like Taylor Thompson crashing that athletic offensive glass. Second chance opportunities are a possibility when these shots continue to go.
Kanan with a 3. Been quiet for a while. That's his 3rd tray of the game. And makes it a 2-possession game for the first time in quite a while, 45-40. Gibson. They're going to break down Ong. Gets the step inside Bianchi. Kick it back out. Pedroso open 3. Will not go. And weak side rebound by Smith.
His early shot making has fallen victim to tired legs, tired forearms for Cuesta. I like the interior touch and the kick out. Those are the right plays. Shots just not dropping.
Kanan got an opening around Thompson. And Smith will take it out of the crowd. Shot clock did not reset. It's got 14 left. And the bench calling out 4, 3, 2. Kanan over to Gaterick. 1 pass too many and a shot clock violation over to the Cougars.
Oh, that play improperly made there by Kanan. You can't pass it to a big fella that far away from the bucket with 2 on the shot clock. Poor late game, late shot clock execution.
34, Lucas Schoonmaker in for Tyler Guti for the Cougars. Also, Lamar Young in for the first time, replacing Ellis Gibson, and Alejandro Horta at 4 points in the first half, replacing Oscar Pedrosa. And we'd like to welcome the Horta family. We understand watching live in Spain.
I like his game. He's as he continues to get stronger and bigger, he's got a good flow and a good understanding with it.
The Wall won't get it, but a putback. Tyler Thompson, the freshman from Sonora, his first bucket, 45-42.
Got to be glass crashers at this point. Throw it up there, go get it, create your second chances.
Kanan Gaterick, baseline. Deflected out of bounds, will stay Viking ball. 24 to shoot, 13:03 to go in the game, and it's a 3-point game, 45-42.
Better job by the Cougars there. 3 people going to the baseline to cut off a drive game that is good.
Smith back out, Gaterick, 20 to shoot. Inside, leading in around Horta, deflected out, and here come the Cougars. Lamar Young leading the break. Kind of lost his feet there. Shot won't go, and a lost opportunity for the Cougars as the ball saved by Smith into Gaterick.
Yeah, beautiful push there, but for Young, you got to understand, a mid-range jump shot, a pull-up, maybe a floater.
And a bit of a hop, step, and triple jump finish for Carl Smith, who's got 5 points on his first field goal, 47-45. 47-42, rather. Horta with a save, deep to Young. Some contact from Ong. Back over, Igual left open. The wing 3 will not fly in. Schoonmaker got the rebound, he got grabbed.
Well, when you look at Young being a spark plug in this game, he's got a good push, poor shot selection, but on that offensive rebound, a little overly aggressive. I like his athleticism, but under control, proper position, Coach Rusty Blair will be looking.
First foul on Young, the freshman from Lawndale. Smith in the front court, picked up by Horta. Horta knocks it loose and has it in the front court. Pushing up on Igual. Here he comes, and right-hand finish.
Oh, beautiful play. I think for Horta, he jump-started that run early in the first half. We'll see if number 10 can do the same.
Alejandro Horta from Alicante, Spain, dishing off to Alex Igual from Barcelona. And a whistle and bodies tumbling across from us. That's going to be second one on Alex Igual. Graham and Kidd return, replacing Ong and Smith for West Valley. 47-44 Vikings, 11:51 left in the opener for both teams. Final game and first day action at the 45th annual Cuesta College Rabbobank basketball tournament. Randy Scovil, Mike Wozniak, glad he could join us. It's been fun, and it's been a pretty tight game for the most part. Kanan in traffic, straight up. Kidd will release the three. It will not go. Crashing the boards, and here comes Young with it. Looking around Goderick. The Gual will just send it back to Bianchi. Horta looks at Graham, and will give it up for Young to run the offense. Young dishing back in the corner. Horta's got the three, in and out. Race for it out long, and Horta gets his own. A very different part of the court.
You see certain plays that just show maturity. You're able to get open on the wing, like the way he handles the basketball, and he's a relentless offensive rebounder.
Beating it down low to Bianchi, and the foul drawn. I believe that's the third one on Malik Kanan.
We talked about this early second half. Look at the size difference in what Cuesta has. Even guard-to-guard opportunities. Post a couple of these guys. They continue to shoot the three, though.
The Gual harking three will not go from the corner. Bianchi trying to hustle, had it on his hip, but just could not contain it. We'll go back to the Vikings, who have that three-point lead with 10:58 to go. Kanan coming out after that third foul, replaced by 31 Matt Stauber, who returns to the game, the freshman from St. Francis High. Goderick sees a streaking Eric Kidd, who will finish for an easy bucket, and that will lead to a timeout for Rusty Blair. 4 points for Kidd and a 5-point lead for the Vikings at 49-44.
Yeah, the effort has been there for the Cougars, but the structure is lacking. Anytime you have press is up, you've got to understand that there's got to be a safety valve back defensively. A pass from the baseline over the top to a point guard streaking, unacceptable. A couple changes to be made with Hartshorn coming back in. Look for Cuesta to get more post touches. They've had some open three looks, but inside-out post touch can get some offensive rebounds after those kickouts.
Actually, it's going to be a complete roster change. Kyrie Carson, Valentin Bauer, Oscar Pedroso, Adrian Thorengen, and Brett Hartshorn have all checked in. So Rusty Blair, again, trying to find some combinations and deciding to go, at least on this position, with a clean slate. We have seen some stuff off the bench. I know you're looking for a Gual. He's gotten some looks, but haven't been able to get to fall, and also Horta coming out and trying to make some stuff happen.
Horta's solid. I like what he's brought to it, but in my estimation of watching one half of Cuesta basketball so far this year, I've not seen at least check mark the five, what I think are some of their better players playing at the same time. We'll see if Gibson can get in there with Jorda as well as a Gual. Where's Kyle Gear been this second half as well? And if Kyrie Carson wants to bring anything to the table, I think Cuesta can put a run. You never know with coaching. Challenging guys early in second halves and then playing it late. Plenty of guys have played, but I don't think Cuesta has found that rotational ideal yet.
And again, we said the five who just came in: Hartshorn, Pedroso, Bauer, Thorengen, and Kyrie Carson, who will trigger it. 49-44, 10:55 to go in the season opener. West Valley coming off a 19-11 season, though they really only had 2 players coming back, and one who had seen significant action, and that was Kanan, currently on the bench. Bauer to bring it up against Kidd, who just scored that fast break bucket. Looking around the high pick from Carson. Bauer behind the back. Carson looking to drive some contact, and the charge is drawn. Second foul on Kyrie Carson. Goody back in and replacing Schoonmaker.
Yeah, extending that off arm. No doubt an aggressive dribble made there by Carson. If he doesn't extend that forearm, I think he may get away with it as a no call. A proper call made there anytime you extend.
Goderick. Vikings looking to add to a 5-point lead. Guti on the perimeter, and they go down low inside the shot. Goderick, rare miss inside, but on the follow, drew the contact and will go to the line. Hartshorn, his 4th foul. It's also going to be the Cougars' 4th foul of the half.
When you look at guards, and really at a higher level, he would play a guard, but his post ability, his leverage is fantastic. Balls have been placed properly to that baseline side. He's got a good stroke and a good, strong post presence.
Makes the first one, gives him 13. Hartshorn coming out with the 4 fouls, and Kyle Gear back in. Again, identified as somebody who, we're kind of looking for something. Might be some possibilities that showed some flashes here and there.
Well, I think if Gear comes off the floor the rest of this way, it's not a good thing for Cuesta. It'd have to be an injury. It'd have to be a foul. But for Gear right now, I think he's got to go for this Cougar ball club.
West Valley with their biggest lead in a while, and possibly the game at 7 at 51-44. In fact, here comes Gear going around Goody off the rim. Will not go. Pulled down underneath. And after much explanation from the official, it's going to stay Cuesta ball. New shot clock with 10:08 to go. Pedroso to trigger. Will lob it and right to Gear. Looking at Gaderick. Had a step, lost control for a second, back to Bauer. Pedroso's been quiet for a while going in, but drew that contact. Got the foul. It's going to be the first one on Tucker Goody.
It'll be interesting to see these free throw stats after the game. Cuesta has missed their fair share of them. They haven't finished on a couple 2-on-1s and 3-on-2s. Easy buckets, free throws included, are something that can sustain when you're not shot making from the perimeter.
Pedroso, 77% free throw shooter last year in his all WSC freshman season at Cuesta. He has 12 points now. Cougars' first point in a while, down 6 now with 9:58 left, and he makes them both. Backcourt pressure, and Kidd pushing it up. Back into the game, Stauber. Inside Goody, working in the paint, getting away from Carson, got some separation and put it in off the glass.
The strength. I mean, shoulders wide, and he's got great leverage on the interior.
He has 10 points and a snuff of Kyrie Carson on the other end. It'll stay Cougar ball. 53-46, 9:37 to go in the season opener.
Hug him out after the entry. Stay with.
Gear coming out high. Looks at Goody. Trying to force some contact. He was going into the paint. There was some help coming in from Eric Kidd. But it's going to be Goody picking up his second foul in just a short period of time. 5 fouls on each team. And Cougars send it in again.
Not a whole lot of room on these baseline out-of-bounds plays. They go flat. You want players away. Screens. Get that ball up to the perimeter. Get it swung. Get it reversed. Cuesta quite stagnant on their baseline out-of-bounds.
Bauer hopping into the paint. Finds Carson in the corner. It's a little bit short. And Gaderick with the board. Sending it out quickly to Stauber. And he will wait for the rest of the team. Goody going in, had a step. Going in, lost the ball. But it dribbles right over to Graham. Graham's three is good. Lorenzo Graham with 7 points. First 10-point lead, I believe, of the game for West Valley. Carson down low against Goody. And too many steps. Just trying to find the right look and instead of just going for it. And turns the ball over. 8:53 to go. As quickly Bianchi is going to come in. And Agual as well. So Carson coming out. And who else is going to come out? It looks like Thorangen.
Well, for Carson, this is a product of not practicing. His rhythm's been off. His feet have been off. You look at being in rhythm with your first game of the year. It's not been ideal for him. I think for Rusty Blair at this point, he's got to go with a guard contingent that makes the extra pass right now. Defend the ball, extra pass, with sloppiness defensively.
Second foul against Bauer on the tap on Ong. The other thing with Carson, too, he's largely being asked to play out of position, too. But doing it, like you said, with not a lot of practice time lately. 56-46, 8:44 left. Gaderick to send it in front of us. Lobbing it in. Might have been partially deflected. Agual's got it. Agual. Bauer. Not looking for the three there, although Gaderick there might have had something to do with it. Gear trying to post him down low. Huge advantage on Ong size-wise right now. Gear going inside and puts it in. 6 points for Kyle Gear at 6'4", going against Rodwell Ong at 5'8".
Well, it took 12 minutes, but they finally recognized it. Now at 8 minutes to go, I'd expect more Gear, more Pedrosa, more Igual in the post.
And West Valley would allow sorts offensively. And Scott Idlegeorge calling a quick timeout. 8:09 to go. And he's going to take a full timeout here. They were up by 10, their biggest lead, a 8-point margin right now. But again, Cougars trying to find some offense there. Kyle Gear getting more involved. Igual and Pedroso a little bit more. Beyond those three, anybody you've seen that's really kind of standing out for you right now?
Well, I think I'd be surprised if Gibson can't come back and be reacclimated to this roster late in the game, primarily for his ball pressure defense. The creation of steals, the passing lanes. Think back to the first half and when Cuesta went on their run, there was excellent perimeter ball pressure, which led to some fast breaks. Cuesta needs a couple easy buckets. Their shot perimeter has not been dropping, but the post play is there. Wing defense, I think, can really explode into some offensive scores. Conversely, you look for Idle George and what he's trying to set up. I'll be surprised if Guitar does not get a multitude of touches in the post. He's going to kind of be that anchor, kind of that buoy to say, guys, when you're pressured on the perimeter, throw it inside, let our bigs kind of play out of that post and play with strength. Good balance right now for West Valley.
And Guitaric Momir, or Momir Guitaric, we should say, 14 points to lead his team. Tucker Goody has got 10, and Malik Kanan has 9 for the Cougars. It's Oscar Pedrosa with 13, Igual and Bianchi with 7 apiece. Porta's got 4, Kyrie Carson 3, and a smattering of folks with 2 each. As the Vikings calling the timeout, will send their lineup back out with Kanan, Gaderick, Smith, Ong, and Goody. Cougars a little late breaking their huddle.
Well, here's a guarantee. Nobody's going over the top here for a backdoor layup. If Cuesta learn anything on the full court, better have a rim protector right now.
Coming up in the 8-minute mark, Ong driving on Bauer. And Bianchi right now, keeping an eye on Goody in the post while they work it outside. Ball deflected away by Gear, trying to get back to it, but can't. It will be Viking ball, but just 5 seconds to shoot for West Valley.
A smart defensive play there by Gear. Anytime a point guard turns late in the shot clock, he's off balance. He doubled it up. Really unfortunate that ball didn't stay in bounds for an easy deuce.
Push it!
Kanan pushing him with 3 to shoot. 2. He'll launch it just as the buzzer goes, and it's going to be a little short board down by Bianchi, pushing out quickly to Gual. Bauer down low to Pedroso. And hitting the deck was Smith, and it's the elbow from Pedroso, which will be foul number 3 for Oscar.
Well, we've seen some poor choices on the inside. Recognize when you have a size advantage, go slow. Make the defender make a decision. Pedroso way over enthused, clearing out left elbow.
And the 7th foul on the Cougars with 7:27 left. Smith on Bauer. A little feisty and whistle away from the ball. And it's going to be Bianchi for a push. That's his 3rd. And it's team foul number 8, and that will send Goody to the line.
Well, 2 offensive fouls for Cuesta in this second half have led to the early bonus here for West Valley. We'll see free throws from start to finish here the rest of the way. If West Valley can get there, they'll like their chances.
Goody, first one doesn't go. Tapped out, but Katark's got it. Up top to Ong. Kanan with a step. Defensive help, though, with the block by Bauer. Shot won't go. Smith trying to save, goes flying over the bench. He's okay. Plus the ball.
It was the right non-call, given that it was going off West Valley, but at the same time, Pedrosa walking a fine line there if you want to help an opponent out of bounds and over his home bench or visitor bench.
Bauer going inside. Bianchi trying to get off the baseline. Bauer's not really been looking to shoot.
Look at the standing here for Cuesta. Finally a cut there, but really an opportunity for Cuesta to swing that ball to the opposite side. Too stagnant watching one-on-one.
Pedrosa with some contact. That's going to be Kanan for his 4th. Gray also with 4 is going to come in and replace him with 6:45 to go. As Ong's coming out as well, and Matt Stauber returning, number 31. Been at 56-48 for a bit. Gear lob it to Igual. Gear, Gaderick took a chance. Gear, the shot Hang it will not go. Whistle. Inside.
Well, a mid-range pull-up that doesn't have the touch high enough to go off the belt buckle of what the basketball portion is. That ball bounced, unfortunately, out of bounds.
Steal by Pedroso going inside strong as Kier did not get the bucket but did get the free throws. He will go to the line on another foul. Number 7 on West Valley. And just that quickly, Gray, who came back into the game with 4, is now going to leave the game with 5. The freshman from Palo Alto High leaves with 5 points unofficially and will be replaced by freshman Eric Kidd, number 5, the Minnesotan. Gier has 6 points at the line with 2. Cougars still trying to find a way to chip away at this 8-point Viking lead. Missed opportunity.
Regular press break. Lock out first. Thank you.
Gier's second. Also unsuccessful. Tap by Bianchi, though, and it goes in.
Well, Bianchi's been their best rebounder. He's been in the mix on both ends of the floor. That was an important basket to cut it to 6 points. Position defense. Cuesta cannot foul.
Stauber in the corner, left open for the 3. That's Stauber, his first bucket, freshman from San Jose. Back to a 9-point game. Coming up on 6 minutes, Gual, Gier. Gier straight away, arcing 3 is going to be short. Smith has it on the court, but travel called before he can call timeout, which is what Scott Idlegeorge was furiously asking for. Lucas Schoonmaker, number 34, back in, replacing Goody. 5:59 left.
Cuesta goes to a little different setup here for their baseline out of bounds. They're too condensed. Not enough room to get shooters off screens.
Pedroso's been quiet lately, coming inside. Fades, won't go. Fight for it inside. Scramble, and it's soft Cuesta.
Yeah, shooting percentage continuing to plummet here in the second half now with only 16 points on a multitude of shots that are good looks, just not dropping.
And a pass that was high would appear to be intended. Well, actually, potentially a couple folks. Almost kind of tough to tell who that was intended for. Ellis Gibson, as well as speculated, returning in for the stretch for Bauer. And he will bring it up at the 5:45 mark. Pedroso back out. Gier the 3. A little bit short. Weak side rebound, though. Bianchi dishes it out quickly to Gibson. Gibson drawing a whistle. Fouled by Kidd. And allows Cougars the opportunity to score with the clock stopped with 5:22 left. Ong replaces Kidd, who picked up his first. And Kanan, with his 4 fouls, will replace Stauber. We'll see how far he can go with 5:22 left. Ellis Gibson, 2 points in the night. Not a lot of free throw attempts last year. First one is good.
Coach Blair desperately wanting a point guard to insert himself as that leader. Not a better time than now.
The sophomore releases the second one. It will not go. Bianchi crashing, was hoping to get another tap in. Did not. Ong to bring it up. 8-point game, 5:18 left. Smith, the Gaderick, who's been kind of quiet lately. A very active game. Smith, straightaway 3, will not go. Gaderick, just as we say his name, gets the offensive board. And new 35 with under 5 minutes to go for the Vikings. Ong stops, pops, good. Rodwell Ong's first point.
You get a defender backing up and a smaller guard able to land on 2 feet, just waited for the flyby to occur. Great shot.
10th different Viking to score and a 10-point game. Pedroso. Deflected, but Igual's got it. 18 on the clock. On over Bianchi. We'll watch it. wide. Almost looked like a pass to Gear. And the whistle will not go the Cougars' way. We'll have free throws walking up the other end. Pushed by Oscar Pedroso, foul number 4. 9th team foul. Carl Smith, who has 5 points, freshman from Merced's Golden Valley High School. Hartshorn and Gibson to return. And a break for both Gear and Bianchi. Smith, first one's good, he gets another. Also, Alejandro Horta, freshman from Spain, returns. Oscar Pedroso, sophomore from Portugal, will sit. Second one won't go. Rebound pulled down. Kyrie Carson. Inside of Gual. And got entangled with Smith, who'd fallen down. Third foul on Smith. And I think we're maybe finding ourselves treated to lots and lots of free throws. As Gual will go to the line after that third foul. Smith will come out. And Kanad's back. He's playing with 4. Gray is already fouled out for West Valley. And it is away and good for Alex Agual. He has 8 points and shot at another. Cougars do get it to single digits. As both free throws are good for Agual. Into the front court, Carson. Read it, but not in time. They got it to Shoemaker in the front court. Ong has come up on 4 minutes. Graham away from a double team. Kanan left open. The three a little bit short. Gibson gets the board. Horta into Hartshorn, who will lay it up. And Scott Idle-George, disappointed with his team's defense, is going to quickly call a timeout with 3:50 left. And the Cougars coming back down within 7 now, 62-55.
Well, looking at that last defensive scenario, it wasn't ideal in the fact that they left one of the better shooters open there in Kanan. He did miss the 3, and then poor defensive transition by West Valley, hence the timeout for Idle-George. With Coach Rusty Blair going to a bigger lineup right now and still wanting to press, I still think it's too much time left to panic and gamble and allow open looks. One of the things that had happened early in the second half was poor coverage after that ball got into the front court, allowance for some three-point shots. Now, you want to go big lineup at this point in the game, it should be for offensive touches in the post. Not time to panic when it comes to over-pressing and having bigs away from the bucket defensively.
Plus you have Gray already fouling out for West Valley and Kanan being shuttled in and out because he's in foul trouble. And other than that, again, the offense has been spread out. Goody has had his spots here and there, and they've spread it out. As we mentioned, 10 different folks scoring for the Vikings. And actually 10 as well for the Cougars, as the Cougars have used everyone available to them this evening. Total of 13 players. Right now, Rafael Casanova is potentially available, but it looks like they want to keep him as a redshirt. And again, as we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, Ben Amar and Utolan both out with injuries, potentially for a while. But Kyrie Carson was able to go tonight and is on the floor right now for the Cougars with 3:50 left. Cougars with some pressure. Gaderick. And again, time of wasting. So they go to Graham. Ong will get it over the line in time. Kanan back up to Ong. 20 to shoot. 3:33 left. West Valley, understandably in no hurry to get a shot off. Kanan on the double team, gets it away. Carson knocked it down. Ong has it, 6 seconds to shoot. They're going to have to put one up. Graham's shot won't go, but it goes right back to Ong.
Long rebounds. When you scramble defensively, it's impossible to check out properly. Now, near dribble out of bounds after a foul. They've got to realize right now, fouls are against them. Play the pressure defense, but play with position, rebounding with 2 hands.
Both teams with 9 fouls, so it's double bonus the rest of the way. 3:07 left. Graham has it taken away by Horta. To Gibson. Cougars have numbers. Back over to Gibson. And the flip will go in for Ellis Gibson. Cougars keep chipping. 5-point game.
Well, 3 passes on a 3-on-1. They were fortunate to score that here.
Ball overthrown. Everybody trying to get to shoot over by the scores table. And the Cougars get it back with 2:43 to go. And like you say, plenty of time. No time, no need to panic at this point. As Scott Idlegeorge will call a timeout. Cougars with that pressure forcing some mistakes and maybe forcing the Vikings to play a little quicker than they like.
Well, size. I mean, a guy at Carson that can put pressure and is still pretty nimble. You look at the big fella in there as well. I'm impressed with the energy in which Cuesta has right now. It's not ideal in some of the missed box outs and really the missed angles they've taken defensively, but they're right in this game. They've got the ball, 2:45 to go. Probably your most crucial offensive set to start this play. I'm surprised Idlegeorge called the timeout, allowing Rusty Blair to set up an offensive play. Will there be a post touch for one of the bigs at this point? And Cuesta had made a 3 in forever. A timely one could be on the horizon.
And we know Goody's going to come back in. We just saw him at the scores table. But after that wild throw, Scott Idlegeorge deciding to settle his team down. Talk with them a little bit again. Not having his main point guard Bill Gray in the game because Gray fouled out a while ago after scoring 5 points. Again, 5-point game. And very much anybody's game is Ellis Gibson, Alex Igual, Alejandro Horta, Kyrie Carson, and Brett Hartshorn on the court for the Cougars. It's Kanan, Gatterick, Smith, Ong, and Goody for West Valley. Igual, and it will be Horta who takes it. Carson playing out high and moving back into the paint. Hartshorn to Igual. Cougars having some patience, 21 to shoot. Horta turnaround jumper is good. Alejandro Horta was 6.
Well, you mentioned the patience. Of course, Horta in the post, but well before that, a myriad of screens, nice triangle action, and excellent extra pass.
Goody. Cougar press continues. That's Horta with a deflection. He's going to take it and finish. Alejandro Horta with 8 points in his Cougar debut, and it's a 1-point ball game.
Well, jumps, presses, deflection of passes. Right now, West Valley scrambling to find any guard that could break half court.
Timeout called by Scott Idlegeorge as Ong was deep in the backcourt with 2 folks in front of him. Could not get around, and Ong had turned it over on a half-court violation prior. So another timeout used with 1:54 to go in a 1-point game and a full timeout called by Scott Idlegeorge.
Keeping the momentum going, Cuesta definitely on that track. The defense has been solid, but what you've got to realize with 27 on the shot clock in a 1-possession game, you can trap and you can pressure all you want, but a foul kills your momentum. Disciplined defensive position to finish off this possession is what they're looking for. Now, back to the offensive end. We finally saw an offensive set from Rusty. It was out of a timeout, but the guys were able. The cross screen and the down screen, utilizing those bigs, their passing lanes are not deflected. When you can interiorly post feed to a mismatch on the inside, Jordan, whoever else, can find their rhythm. 2 points as easy as they come.
62 to 61. Again, winner of this game is going to play West Hills tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Loser has Santa Barbara in one of the consolation semis at 3. And it is the 45th annual Rabbobank tournament. Other participating teams include Bakersfield and Mendocino. Bakersfield winning that game 65-63, and Hancock, big win over Sequoias today, 74 to 54. So Bakersfield and Hancock in one of the finals taking place tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Cougars same 5 on the court, and it appears to be largely the same for West Valley, except Ong is out now. And we have Kidd joining Smith in the backcourt. 1:54 to go, 27 on the shot clock, and it's inbounded to Gaderick. Probably the guy you want to have handling the ball as he gets tied up with Carson with a push, but that's the killer foul you've been talking about.
There's a point in the game where you got to recognize you're okay. And the press has got him back in this game, but just a foolish play sending him back to the line. Inopportunistic at this point.
And as the third foul on Carson, and as we said, double bonus the rest of the way, so a couple free throws for West Valley with this 1-point lead. A lot of floor contact, so Cougars jumping in there and handling the mop-up duty, as it will be Gaderick at the line for the 2 free throws.
Quiet, Jim. Where are the fans for the Cougars at this point, trying to dislodge mentally a beautiful stroke from the free throw line?
That's 15 points for Gaderick. Makes them both for a game-high 16. Pedrosa with 13 to lead the Cougars. 64-61, minute 45 left. Kyrie Carson, and just rush that pass wide of Horta. Unforced turnover.
Playing time, practice time, it's not been ideal for Carson, and it showed with fouls and turnovers and nearly another foul there.
Gaderick had it inside, but will pull out. Double team to the corner, and I'm going to say he did lose it off himself.
It did. It got doubly deflected, but the over-dribble right now. Skip passes against traps and the calming influence for Cuesta. Plenty of time to go on the inside. You've got mismatches at the guard level, but where has Agual been? One of your better shooters hobbling up the floor. Can he get a touch?
He's got one now. Looking at Smith. Deep on the wing, up top to Horta. He's been scoring a lot as of late. Hartshorn, Gibson. Way to shoot. Ball slips, goes into the paint, contact, the shot does not go, and a blocking foul on West Valley.
Well, into the shooting motion, secondary defenders clogging that painted play.
Great job, great job.
Third foul on Goody. Double bonus for everybody. 2 free throws for Alex Agual, who has 9 points.
When you send Agual one of your better scores baseline, they full fronted him, and he was patient enough to receive that down screen as the ball got swung. Opened up that drive lane. You can tell his left leg is a little hobbled at this point, but at the same time, you got to make some free throws. 71 seconds to go. Cuesta finding themselves in a defensive opportunity to press if 2 free throws can go in.
Again, Scott Idle-George talking with his team and reminding Kidd that they do not have any more timeouts. First one from Agual does not go. Second one also not there. The opportunity is there. The free throws don't go. Carl Smith with a rebound.
But why foul? Some compounding problems. Think back to a 1-point game earlier in this one in which Carson, a poor foul. Now,
yeah, Hartshorn, I believe that's it for him. He's hoping to try and get the ball away, perhaps. That is going to be the first Cougar to foul out. Bill Gray fouled out a while ago for West Valley. And Pablo Bianchi will replace him with 1:08 to go.
still plenty of time to go here, and with West Valley having timeouts, Cuesta can keep that pressure, but they need a little bit of help of Valley missed free throws.
Smith, first one good to give him 7. And West Valley pulling players from all over. Carl Smith, as mentioned, from the Valley, Merced. Players from 4 other states. And Smith's free throw good. 5-point game, minute 7 to go. Bianchi, Gibson. Bianchi will move down low. And timeout called by Rusty Blair. It's going to call a short one with a minute 1 left. Rusty Blair gathering with his assistants. Again, assistants important, as Woz mentioned before. Casey Blair in his 5th year. Alex Raj and Alex Engel in their 3rd year. Assisting Coach Blair, and Jonathan Ramirez in his 1st year, helping out as part of the Cuesta staff.
Still plenty of time. A 3 is not essential at this point. Some sort of easy look. Ideal an easy look, but you've got to get a good one. I'm playing inside out. I like the idea of getting a Gual off some baseline screens. You've got to understand an offensive rebound putback is just as good as a made jumper. Crash the glass second chance opportunities for Cuesta can provide. Sideline out of bounds. Where do your shooters come from, and who is the inbounder? Defensively, always knowing back cuts are available.
Cougars with Bianchi, Pedroso, Horta, Gibson, and it'll be a Gual to trigger it. Minute 1 left, 5-point game. We'll go to Gibson in the backcourt. Under a minute left. Bianchi can't hang on, and Goody's right there to grab it.
Well, into the front court, you'll need to foul if they can break this pressure, yes. Did not need that shot attempt, but bailed out by Bianchi.
And Kanaan will go to the line. It was going to be 2 either way. But you're right, no need to allow the shot. Fourth foul on Bianchi. Kanaan, who has 4 of his own. First one does not go. And out of Amon Jordan, sophomore, and returning player who was honorable mention Coast Southern Division last year. Does make the second one to get to double figures with 10, 6-point game. 42.1 left. Gibson, Pedroso, he'll launch the 3, and it will fall. 16 for Pedroso. Quick timeout for Rusty Blair with 33.3 to go, as the shot clock will be off in a 1-possession game.
Well, timely shot making, saving it for late, but still the most important inbounds possession of the game for West Valley. They're gonna Cuesta's got to consider: do you foul immediately in the front court, or do you force West Valley, who's had some trouble getting the ball into and past half court? 2 things to think about if you're Cuesta. Who do you want to foul? Who do you want to have the basketball? And secondly, how long do you want to trap before you make that foul? And I think if you look at West Valley, a primary ball handler they really don't have, but who's your primary free throw shooter? Free throw shots right now could seal you the game if you can make 2. One timeout remaining for Cuesta, none for West Valley. Full court pressure ensues here. Got to have an understanding of who you don't want to have the basketball. I would say, big fella Gitarik, you don't want him touching.
And Koala's got him right now. Kanaan in the backcourt, getting away from the double team, and then fouled with 31.5 left. And Kanaan did miss one of the 2 last time. Malik Kanaan, 10 points, one of 3 double-figure scores for the Vikings. Gitarik with 16, and Goody has 10. First one is in there. pushes it back to a two-possession game, and Kanan makes them both. Gibson up. Bianchi. Cougars taking a little too long, and Smith reads it, steals it, and he will peel off in a two-possession game. And some contact as he went flying. Getting tied up with Pedroso in front of us, and a foul elsewhere with a lot of contact. And in this case, though, Pedroso, prior to that, is going to get called for that foul. That's going to be his fifth, and he's out. Oscar Pedroso, leading scorer, out with 16. One above his average from last year. 18.2 seconds left. Free throws force. In this case, I believe that's going to be Smith. Got fouled after peeling off. And passing on the open basket, Kyrie Carson will come in.
And that's a debatable point, because scoring 2 points, keeping the clock rolling, putting pressure on Cuesta to scurry back into the front court with limited timeouts. He just got blasted into the scorer's table. Now he's got to make 2 free throws to feel like he won the possession. Tough scenario.
And he makes the first. Carl Smith with 9, most of those coming at the free throw line. 7 free throws made. And make that 8. 4th double-figure score. 7-point game, 18 seconds left. Gibson, Horta, down low. Bianchi got rejected with Smith getting back on defense. And Kanan has it for the final 10 seconds. And Kidd will just run it out. Gitarik, Kanan. They'll lob it over to Gitarik, and that should do it. So Cougars were in a lot of the way, but West Valley overcoming an 11-point first half deficit, took the lead by 2 at the half. Hung in there, some opportunities for Cuesta, but again, West Valley finding ways to make free throws and hang on to this game.
I think West Valley just did enough breaking pressure and getting into that front court. There were some timely threes made in the middle part of that second half, but really for the most part, I think Cuesta is looking at a season in which their offense will continually improve. I didn't think they had a very clean, we'll call it last 24 minutes of the game offensively. The scurry, the primary amount of their points coming from defensive deflections and steals. It wasn't ideal offensively. That's the beauty of the start of the season. You're allowed to improve. And I think for Rusty Blair, he'll look at this tape and recognize he had a couple shot makers, not in ideal situations, and it cost him with a 7-point loss.
And just taking a look at this, and again, it's the first game for everybody at this point. You're hoping maybe for a little more from the sophomores. Oscar Pedrosa was there, but sometimes he seemed, I wouldn't say invisible, but maybe not the guy they were counting to for that go-to scorer, because they haven't had anybody else besides him at this point. Ellis Gibson, I would say that point guard question is probably pretty open at this point. And Carson, you have to kind of look at it, as you mentioned, in the context of, he's been hurt, he hasn't practiced a lot. So a lot of it, we're going to look, I would think, as you would figure in community college, there's going to be some freshmen who have to step up.
Well, I think Jordan did a fantastic job today. I thought his passing lanes, his balance defensively was very good. I think he understands the game offensively. He's going to be a guy needed to be trusted later on this year. I thought Gear was a guy that didn't get a whole lot of offensive touches in the second half. I thought he had some post mismatches. Coach Rusty Blair maybe not trusting his entire offensive repertoire. They had to play from behind the majority of the second half, and that spelled, hey, maybe I trust my defenders a little bit more. But I think offensively we'll see the biggest improvement for Cuesta. This team played hard today, just came out on the wrong end of it. I think their offense was the biggest reason.
And they've got some shooters there, and that's one of the things that you get a lot of times with European players, like in talking with Coach Blair before the game, is they generally do have good shooting skills. That kind of follows the European game. There's guys like Wall who maybe was, not the big guy tonight, but there's chances that some of these guys can emerge, especially during this tournament season that comes in the fall, where you get a lot of games in a pretty short amount of time.
Well, it's important for them tomorrow against Santa Barbara to bounce back and know this is an early part of their season. As frustrated as you are with a home loss in your tournament, the opportunity potentially to play a team in West Hills tomorrow not going to be there. But I think for Cuesta, the realization of you can improve offensively, you trust guys a little bit more, and then shot making. There were a myriad of open shots that just did not drop, and that happens for teams early in the year.
Well, the Cougars lose their opener here in the Rabbobank tournament to West Valley, and again, they will play in the consolation round starting tomorrow. We're going to have a broadcast. We'll be back in the gym in about a month for the ConocoPhillips tournament with Ron Barber's women's team in action, and that will be our final game broadcast of the semester. Again, we want to thank John Arno and his students in broadcast communications for putting this together, and, of course, the help of Pat Renshaw at Sloco TV, and, of course, Jay Thompson in marketing communications. I'm Mike Wozniak. Great to see you. Have a great season with your traveling team and your many broadcast opportunities. Glad you could stop in and join us tonight.
Randy, always a pleasure. Start of the season, we all can improve.
Absolutely. I'm Randy Scovil. He's Mike Wozniak. Thanks for watching on Cuesta HD TV. You can find us on Channel 19 and also online at networksports.com. Good night.